it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for July 2022. So on July 19th, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of communication, information, and how it is that we are expressing ourselves out in the world, moving out of Cancer energy that has been very emotional, very hypersensitive, very sentimental. Yes, very intuitive, but also very passive aggressive and slightly insecure and triggering. And moving into this fire energy of Leo, the heart and soul of the zodiac. So we can expect a huge, dramatic shift in the energy when this happens, especially taking into consideration all that's been floating through our mental plane. When Mercury is in Leo, we are thinking big. We are bold. We are brave. We are confident. We have a big vision. We have stories to tell. We have a great grand truth that we want to share. We are now honing in on the ultimate goal, the ultimate dream, the ultimate vision. And we are just over exaggerating and adding a little bit of drama into the mix. So what we have to consider is that Mercury has a general disposition to want to focus in on the details, the smaller details, what makes people and things tick, what makes sense, the logical, practical side, the strategic and calculated side of our thought process. When we're in Leo energy, the details seem to get overlooked. They don't seem to be as important. Instead, we are focused on the high vibration, the excitement, the happiness, the joy, the pleasure of the big, great, grand dream, the big vision, the big goal. Now, when we move into this Leo energy, we are super, super expressive. This is great for writers. This is great for songwriters, for artists, whatever you do to express yourself in this world. Again, keep in mind that we do add a little bit of spice, a little bit of drama to the mix, which could go over very well or could backfire into our face. But basically, we all want to be heard. And the downside to that is that we're not such great listeners. What we are going to do is that we are going to be speaking our truth and telling our, let's call it, painful stories under a narrative that actually creates a better storyline for us. What do I mean by that? I mean that this is an energy where we can reflect back on some of the painful experiences in our lives and we can rewrite the script. Instead of us being in pain and in trauma and weak and vulnerable, we can tell the story as if we are the winner. We triumphed out of it. We empower ourselves. It's a very healing energy because, of course, this is raw and vulnerable. It is most authentic in Leo energy because this is the heart and the soul of the zodiac. Now, we are great storytellers. We can convince anything of anyone, especially ourselves. And that's what it comes down to, is rewriting the narrative within ourselves first and foremost. We have the boldness, the bravery, the courage, the confidence that maybe we've been lacking to speak our truth, to share our story, to, put ourselves in a situation, to meet new people. And this is going to be an excellent fire energy because, again, fire energy is action, it's passion, it's desire, it's initiation, it's beginnings. And we are just fired up to jump into something new. Now, with this whole energy, like I said, we're not the greatest listeners, and that can come at a downfall because, of course, if we're all thinking that we have a story to tell, that we need to be heard, that we need to be seen, that really does pose a problem, especially in personal relationships when we're not doing the listening that is needed and we're just doing the talking. We have to really balance the scales to be open enough to receive other people's truth, to receive other people's stories, to just be a listening ear to others, just like we would hope and pray that they would be the great listeners to us when we're telling our truth and our story. we're not very focused on other people. We're a little bit egocentric, and that can be a downfall as well. But it's also important because for God knows how long now, we've been kind of putting ourselves on the back burner. We've been putting other people's wants, needs, and desires before our own. We've been, sacrificing our path, our opportunities for the greater, grander collective. It is important for us to get back to what makes us happy, what makes us tick, what drives us, what inspires us, what motivates us. That is very important. But we don't want to do that in a way that would suggest that we discount other people's thoughts and feelings, especially when we're in personal relationships, that may make them feel like they are not seen and they are not heard. We've all been in a position in life where we've felt that way, where we're just kind of dismissed and abandoned altogether, and it doesn't feel good. So we have to be responsible enough to, yes, take the spotlight when the time and the opportunity permits to do so, but to also grant other people that time in the spotlight too, so that we all get seen, we all get heard, we all get validated in our experience. So what's good about this energy is that we're super, super confident and super strong about making some very important decisions. And as you know, we've been going through an experimental process since the solstice ushered in Cancer season. We have had some boundaries be tested. We've been having to debate between the pros and cons of certain choices, certain paths, opportunities, and directions. And for many of us, we've really been a little bit cluster-effed in our heart space and in our head space on pulling the trigger and making the kind of decisions that we've, been bouncing back and forth on. Mercury and Leo energy is going to help us pull that trigger. And especially when it is putting ourselves first, when it is speaking our truth, when it is doing right by us. This is definitely a time to balance the scales, so to speak, in making sure that we aren't giving more of ourselves to other people than we are reserving for ourselves, but yet we're not taking up too much time and space and casting other people to the side. This is a time when we are going to just know in our heart space, again, Leo energy, heart space, we know what is right for us. We know what feels good. We know what is true for us. And this is going to really encourage us to take the lead. We want to be direct. We want to bring something to life. We want to create something new. We want to jump into a brand new chapter. And Mercury being in Leo is definitely going to help us do that. So this is a time where we're looking for connection, especially with the people that we are sharing our lives with. This is why we feel the need to tell stories, because that's how we relate to other people. That's how we share our experiences and recognize that there's more in common with our neighbor than there is differences. So we're going to want to kind of connect with different people. We're going to want to share information with different people. We're going to really enjoy being entertained. Not only us doing the entertaining, but us being entertained by other people as well. And, the high probability of having someone's, let's call it pain story, hit home and trigger something in you is highly likely. That's what we want. That's how we break the walls down that we've built around this heart chakra. And we get to open up. This is a creative time. This is a romantic time. This is a playful time. This is high vibe time. And yes, it's going to give us a lot of pros, but we do have to consider those cons. So we don't want to be, shutting people out. We don't want to soak up all the spotlight. We don't want to be too rigid or inflexible. We don't want to be too proud. We don't want to be so stubborn that we're unable to see other chances, changes, opportunities outside of us. Leo is a fixed energy. So we do have a problem with, tunnel vision and having a narrow mind frame and being stuck to a certain path or pattern or storyline or whatever the case may be. So we want to make sure that we're not getting too stuck in our ways, that we are open-minded, but most of all, we are open-hearted.